What is up, everybody? It's your girl Ebony Jean. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be back because it's been a very long time since I've made a video on here, and there's just been a lot going on in my life, but we're not going to talk about that today. As you can see, I'm all did up. Yes, sis, come through. Come through. I am what they call pageant ready. I have on my makeup, my lashes, just did up, hair, all of it. Today is a very special day. It is International Pageant Day, and that is something that you guys don't know about me. I am a pageant girl, or former pageant girl. Either way it goes, it's a part of my life. But I do want to share my story with you guys today. If you have any questions, especially if you're an alopecia and you're looking to compete in pageants one day, but you have absolutely no clue how to get started, or you're too scared, I hope this video can be the icebreaker for you and it'll make sense. So yeah, let's get started. My career commenced in 2015, and it was at a very pivotal moment in my life because I was going through some emotional turmoil along with seeking direction, trying to figure out what was next. The mindset of going back to school but didn't know where to look for financial support. Like, everything was pretty much exhausted to me, if that makes sense. So basically, pageants were the last resort. I was looking online one night and I came across a pageant for the Miss USA organization, but it was the state pageant, Miss Michigan USA. I remember looking on their website, reading the credentials to see if I had met them. I filled out my application just to see what they were gonna say, like if I was even pretty enough to compete. So I went to work the next day, and I remember after I got done with the client, I looked at my phone and got a notification saying, "Congratulations, your application has been accepted to be a contestant for Miss Michigan USA." So I was like squealing super hard. I tried not to scare anybody, but I told my coworkers that I got accepted. Like, I had to tell somebody. And they were like, "Oh my God, we're going to Miss USA." I said, not yet. I was looking at the website a little bit more about registration and things like that. And I ended up going to a local dress shop to begin shopping for ideas. The shop owner had introduced to me a local pageant that was here in my hometown that I kind of heard of in the past, but I had my reserves about it. I was looking for pageant coaching at the same time, so I guess that's why she mentioned it. She said, "I think you should check them out first." I ended up emailing the director, and she said, "I would love to coach you, but I will also love it if you came out for my pageant." And her pageant is affiliated with the Miss USA organization also. So she is phenomenal. Like, I love the experience that I gained from this whole thing. I went in basically like a deer in headlights because I had no clue what to do. So I did not compete at Miss Michigan USA. I went to the local level first. If you guys are thinking about competing at a major level, not saying that I don't recommend it, but I would encourage you guys to start at the local level first before heading to any state pageant. I know there are some stories out there where girls win out of nowhere. Like, it's their first year competing, they don't have any experience, and they just win the very same night. But that's not going to be everybody's testimony. So if you are a beginner, I would strongly encourage you to start at the local level first. I filled out the application for her pageant, and I also prayed about it, and God just told me to do it anyway. So I was accepted, and there were no prelims at this time because she had already met the requirements for each girl. There were about 12 of us competing. I was the only chocolate girl though, and it was an awesome experience. I was a little nervous though because I didn't think that I would fit in with the rest of the girls, and I felt like I wasn't good enough. But these are some thoughts that you really have to combat. Like, you have to really hold them captive, because if you focus on what all the other girls are doing and how long they've been competing, you're basically canceling your chances of winning, if that makes sense again. Throughout the whole summer, we were preparing for the pageant. We had to have a platform. My platform was and still is alopecia awareness. I was so nervous to make this my platform though, because I remember all of those negative memories from growing up, like people bullying me, talking about me. I even had a family member come up to me and she said, "Well, are you sure you want to put that as your platform? Because there are still some mean people out there. I said, yeah, I do. I want to go ahead and do it. So I prayed about it once more, and as I was typing out my mission statement, that's when God reminded me that I have a purpose. So once I submitted my statement, I started making awareness throughout the community, but awareness didn't take off for me really until a year later. Throughout the summer, we were attending events all over the city, showing our sashes, and each girl had to be sponsored by a local business that represented the pageant, that donated money to the organization. I represented 2 television stations both years I competed, but the first year I won second runner-up. My grandmother was hospitalized during this time, and unfortunately she passed away 3 days after my competition, and it's a very bittersweet story to tell because I wanted her to be there. But I remember the night I competed and placed the top 5, my mom called one of my sisters who was at the hospital with my grandma, and she told her how I did. My grandma was too weak to talk, but all she could do was smile, and that's all I wanted from her. To know that she is proud of me. Shortly after her homegoing, I had to go back to school 2 weeks later. So it was a very difficult time for me because I had no time to grieve. I'm trying not to cry now because it just kind of sparks on you. But back to my platform of alopecia awareness, I was connected to the National Alopecia Areata Foundation. I am truly grateful for this organization, and I had never heard of them prior to competing, but we formed a relationship, and I told them what I was doing, how long I've had alopecia for, and they said we'll do everything that we can to support you. So by the end of 2015, I was appointed legislative liaison and became the first African American liaison for my city for the alopecia community. 2016 came, I competed in the same pageant once more. Did not win, unfortunately, or place top 5. I was so devastated because I worked extremely hard trying to get that crown. I really wanted to serve my community for the year. But I did walk away in total for both years competing $1,800 in scholarships. So that was the real grind right there. I was so excited because I wanted to finish my education, but that was also a bittersweet year because not only was I embarking upon the eve of my grandmother's passing, but I lost my little brother, and it was a very untimely situation. I had to bury him just 1 week before my pageant. I was seriously about to quit the pageant. I said, I can't even do this. Like, I had no mental capacity to keep going. Like, I didn't know how to process any of it. But I spoke to my director. Everyone sent their condolences and best wishes for me to compete. It was frustrating, but we did it. I made it, and I'm very proud of myself. Shortly after competing at the local pageant, I decided to go ahead and do Miss Michigan USA, and ended up becoming one of the first African Americans from my hometown to compete. So that is a true honor right there. I filled out my applications and went to registration, orientation, met some of the girls, and it was a very beautiful day. They were really nice to me, and I explained to the director and some of the girls I had gotten close to, like, what was going on in my life at the time. They said, do it anyway. Like, it's such a great experience. You'll regret it if you don't, and you'll walk away with so many amazing friendships. And to this day, I'm still friends with all of my girls from Miss Michigan. So I am very grateful for the relationships formed. The experience was great. Had about 1 month to prepare. So I went to rehearsals, and it was basically like it was simple. I got a little confused for a second, but once we started going around a couple of times, that's when I got the hang of it. I was like, okay, cool. So I can do this. I experienced top 5 for the first time, but in the mock rehearsals. Unfortunately, I didn't place anything in the real competition, but I'm just grateful overall for the experience. And I wanted to become the first African American alopecian to win Miss Michigan USA. That was the ultimate goal, but unfortunately that did not happen. I tried coming back a couple years after that, but things just did not work out, and it simply wasn't God's will for me. I was just grateful to be able to say that I competed at Miss Michigan USA. The ultimate goal for competing in pageants in my case, I really wanted to break the barrier of your typical pageant queen. I don't look like all the other girls, obviously, and I have to go through the process of literally putting on makeup and a wig every single day. And it's kind of fun because I feel like a Barbie doll. One of the things that I want to touch on really quickly is making sure that you have confidence. If you're not confident in here, it's going to show through your facial expressions and your onstage presence. So you want to make sure that you are 100% confident with your appearance, especially if you're deciding to go on stage bald. The only time I went on stage bald was during my mission statement, and that was for the second year of competing, which was 2016. Wasn't nervous because I had just revealed my baldness to the world that very same summer, and I was so confident in myself that it literally took over the entire audience. But once you know who you are and you're assured with yourself, then you're gonna have a great time on that stage. So make sure that you have confidence in everything that you do, and how you present yourself, how you're walking, your speaking skills are on tack. I noticed that a lot of girls who enter these competitions would choose a random cause just to say that they have something. No, you need to make sure that there's passion connected to what you're trying to advocate. You want to convince the judges. You want the community to stand by what you're trying to do. And since my story became a national platform, not only did my community get a greater understanding of who I am, but also what an alopecia has to deal with on a daily basis. So I'm able to advocate on a greater scale. Pageants are such an amazing experience. I love the networking opportunities that come out of this. You build lasting friendships. So many doors are open academically, professionally, and personally. It's a great confidence booster, and you get to learn so much about yourself and the community that you're trying to win the title for. If you are looking to compete in pageants and you have alopecia, I really hope this video helped you, and I hope I covered everything. But if in case I didn't, please feel free to ask me any questions. Comment down below, tell me what you think about this topic. If you have any experiences of being in pageantry, I would love to hear from you. Give me a thumbs up for this video, subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and check out some of my other videos as well. Thanks again so much for tuning in, guys. God bless, and I will talk to you in my next video. Mwah. Bye!